My name's Emma Catan. I'm studying the Masters of English Literature. I graduated in 2008 with a joint honours degree in English and Sociology at Northumbria, and I decided to take the Masters after spending some time working in education, hospitality, retail, quite a lot of different jobs, but my current role is a careers advisor, and I learned about things like the Masters loan. I decided to use that to try and go on to postgraduate study. I chose to do the MA here at Northumbria primarily because I am an alumnus, but also because the choice of modules that they had when I looked at the prospectus was really interesting. It was cutting edge, and it really appealed to me in terms of my individual research interests. I'm actually quite surprised because originally they had a steampunk based module, but that actually was replaced by one called Reading the American Man, which is all about American masculinity and gender studies. And actually that's the theory area, as it were, which I want to take on to do a PhD in now. So I think I've got a lot out of something which was quite a surprising module for me. In terms of teaching staff, I think all of them have been exemplary, like without sort of exception. All of them that we've had have been absolutely outstanding. All have had different research interests and different sort of perspectives to add, but I hope that's helped to develop all of us as students. In terms of the lecturers' personal research interest, we do get to know a little bit about their specialties. We don't go into a lot of detail, but they're always more than willing to talk about it. For example, Adam Hansen focuses on Shakespeare, and he's actually wrote a book on Shakespeare and popular music, but we've also got lecturers like Catherine Baxter, who focus on post-colonial fiction, but also has worked within other areas as well. I think having lecturers who are research active and clearly progressing well within their own individual fields is really important, primarily because it's helping to give us an idea of what it's like to work in academia ourselves, but also I think it helps highlight how involved in Northumbria is as a university in terms of furthering research. We hosted the English Shared Futures Conference last year, which I was really fortunate to represent the programme as an intern, and it was really clear seeing how many lecturers were delivering papers and contributing to panels, just how involved they are all the time. You know, obviously the summer's quite an important period, as it were, to do that, but you know, they're doing that all the time alongside the teaching and supervision that they're doing for their students. In terms of the English department and the facilities, I think they do have really good facilities. They've also got access to a lot of different online archives, which is really important if you're going into research, because it's not just about using the library and those facilities, it's also about knowing what sort of links that we have. So, for example, we do have really strong links with Newcastle University and the rest of the universities that participate in Sconal. Returning to study after 8 years away after graduation was initially quite daunting. It actually was reassuring, though, that there were students who'd returned in last year's intake when I started, who had been out of education for 20 years, and one of them is actually going to be starting a PhD this year. And I feel that that's not necessarily a barrier. I feel like actually a lot of people who do come back to study, they know they've got the motivation to do that. They know this is really what they want to do. Overall, we've got a range of different research interests, from comic books to sci-fi to Shakespeare, but the range of interests that we have is really diverse, and that makes for a really positive learning experience. When I was looking into finance, I applied for the postgraduate student loan through Student Finance England, but I was able to receive the alumni discount, and that was really beneficial and helped with any financial concerns. I think the best thing about postgraduate experience for me has been understanding how much I actually learned at undergraduate level. I would honestly say, without exaggerating, it's been life-changing to study here again, and you know, I wouldn't have made a decision to study anywhere else, especially at this level.